Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your host, Jim Flannigan, and coming to you guys with another edition here of ACFL Hangouts. It's the playoff edition. We're in the playoffs here, just round one done in the books. We got the recap on that, and we'll have your prediction and analysis on the semifinals. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, let me introduce you my partner on here tonight. It's the one and only Giant918. Giant, what's up?
www.acfl.net. Follow us on Twitter at ACFL Football. Jim Flannigan, members of the ACFL, we're really pumped up over here. We know there aren't a lot of teams in the 2017 ACFL Winter playoffs, man, but the spring season is right around the corner. You check there on the cover page. Sign-ups are ready, man. Had a lot of energy. We appreciate you guys giving us likes and following us over there on YouTube as well, man. Unfortunately, we were unable to do a live version this week. This is due to the fact that I am going to the swamp, a.k.a. Washington, D.C. this weekend to go check out the National Mall and some of the other museums around the area. I'm going to try to drain the swamp myself, but it's just infested with a bunch of garbage over there. But it doesn't matter. We got recaps over here. We got predictions for this coming weekend. A lot of snow this past weekend too, Flanny. What's going on with you, man?
Oh, yeah, man. Definitely a lot of snow, but that did not stop us from filming the games this Sunday. You know, those videos are coming up on the website. They'll be uploaded momentarily. But, yeah, we had to do a pre-recording on it. Unfortunately, we are not live today. But we're hoping to come back live next week for you guys. You know, stuff came about, but we still want to give you guys a show. You know what I mean? We don't want a week go by without a show. So here we are, man. It's Hangouts. It's still going to come with full energy. Giant, you've been known to drain the swamp, man. So good luck on that, you know, this week. But, yeah, you mentioned spring, man. Spring right around the corner. You know, February is a short month, the shortest month. So I feel like we're almost already in March, man. It's going to be here sooner than later. You know, March 18th is the set date for the season to start for the March. So if you haven't registered, if you have not signed up yet, there's still time, you know, within the next couple of weeks. But it's closing in, fellas, March 18th, and they offer all sides, all sort of a competition, all different kind of formats, you know, whether it's touch league, whether you want to play in a 6-on-6 flag or 8-versus-8 flag. So, you know, from the highest point of competition, I mean, there's all sorts, a lot of teams. And as we mentioned last week, the tune-up tournament. Tune-up tournament is a week prior to that on the 11th, where teams, you know, want to get back into it on there, want to see some of the players and the teams that will be playing in the spring season. They could do so in that tournament. One of the things we did not mention, which they're also offering in the spring, like summer season, is a indoor weeknight league in the spring. So that, you know, they tried this actually first time last season, and they got a pretty good turnout on there. I believe it's on Tuesdays and Thursday nights when they do this, and sometime in April 3rd, I believe is the set date. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's during the weeknight. So on Tuesday, Thursday nights, you know, in an indoor facility where you don't got to worry about the rain or about the snow like we had to face these last 2 weeks, you know. So that's also out there on there. Check out the site, you know. You guys want to get more information on that, or message JT. You know, JT on there, he'll give you guys the info on that if you're not sure about anything on that. But yeah, that's where it comes down to, you know. Giant, I want to hop right into it, man. It's the players. We've got a lot of stuff to cover on here. I was there in Hackensack, New Jersey, Hackensack High School this past Sunday, and man, I mean, I thought the games are going to be canceled, but not in this league, Giant. Other leagues, they may have canceled the games, but rain, snow this season, we've played them, man. And you know, there was, I don't know in your area, Giant. I know you're in the Clifton area, but up in Oak Ridge, man, we got a lot more snow, man. So I was just trying to get the hell out of here, man, to get to games. I made it down there, thankfully, to Hackensack to get the games, and we're pretty good, man. They were real good. Came out good on film. you want to go into those matchups or what, man?
Yeah, let's get into it, man. Now, the first matchup we're going to get into is GoodFellas versus the Warriors. Lots of high octane.
Wait. No.
Oh, GoodFellas and NPI. I apologize, man. This is just a route over here, man. The predictions came in. We gave it to you last week, man. Not much surprises. No pun intended, man. I guess they tried to give it the old college try, man, but I mean, they brought no energy over here. It looks like, Flanny, some of the highlights you uploaded over there on ACFL.net, some of the highlights over here, is that the one with the one-handed INT as well, man?
Yes, it is, man. Yes, it is. Yeah. I mean, we had the GoodFellas in this. We did predict this one right, and I think a lot of people as well did not see an upset coming on here. I mean, NPI heading into this matchup was like on a 4 or 5 game losing streak, so not good. Two things in this matchup, man. I know the final was 38-13, so it wasn't much of a contest on here. I think by halftime, this game was pretty much, over and done with. The GoodFellas, we didn't know whether or not the quarterback was going to be there for the playoffs. I'm talking about Pete Velarde, I believe his name, Pete, the quarterback for GoodFellas. He's been out, I believe, the last 4 games or something. But come playoff time, he did not disappoint. He was there, man. He showed up, and boy, did he show up, man. 38 points on the board here against this NPI team. And we mentioned also about NPI, whether or not they were going to get those extra players that they needed. Fortunately, it was a no-show once again, and I think that really hurt. So without those players and with Pete being there for the GoodFellas, man, the GoodFellas looked real hot. They came on there with only 6 guys. Pete actually played both sides of the ball here in this game, and 13 points ain't gonna cut it here. I say GoodFellas team, very underrated defensive squad, and with Pete back there on this team and this roster, they looked good, Giant, man.
Yeah, very dangerous. And they're going to get another shot next week as well.
Right? They move on to the semis, where they're going to be going up against the Red Hot Slugs team in the semifinals. The other matchup on there, the other first-round matchup was, and I apologize for getting this team name wrong on the last show, it's The Rock, not RC, so it's The Rock, You smell what The Rock is cooking. So, so The Rock, they played against the Warriors. And this one, man, this Warriors team, I know they faced a lot of roster show, as far as guys showing up for the games and stuff, some injuries as well. But this Sunday, with the snow, I think everybody was there for the Warriors. I mean, they had their full squad ready to go. And, putting up points on the board, 42 points in the snow, man, against the Rock team. Great performance there by the Warriors, and they're going to go on to the semifinals. Giant, in this matchup, it just seemed, the Rock team would cut the deficit down to 2 scores, but that's the best it got, man. And when they did, I know there was a play where they got a kickoff return touchdown, man. And, I thought they had the, everything going, but it just seemed the Warriors were always there to answer, and they always came back and they put it punch in the score. So, they scored that late touchdown at the end of the game with that quarterback lateral on there, made it, 42-20 as the final. But, other than not much of a contest in this one either, man. Both of them, with a big margin win to go on to the semis. One thing about this Rock team we didn't really mention on the previous show, and I don't know how you feel about this. They were going with 2 quarterbacks, man. And, with that kind of philosophy, man, some people like it. You get a new look as far as the defense trying to figure out the offense, because here comes a different quarterback. But I just feel, in the playoff time, a playoff scenario on here, you got to know who's your starter going to be, which quarterback you're going to go with. And these guys would alternate quarterbacks like every possession, sometimes even a play here and there. And when that happens, Giant, I just feel, me personally, doing the two quarterback thing, you could also hurt the offense, man. And I think it did here for the Rock team as using two quarterback as opposed to going with one, because you can't. I mean, sometimes you may have a bad drive, but then you come back next drive and you score. Here, you're not given that chance. You have a bad drive. Here comes in the next quarterback the next drive, and they kept alternating, and that strategy just did not work, Giant.
Yeah, it's not only that. I mean, the Warriors absolutely got raped the last 4 weeks of the season. And they came back from behind, and they absolutely played out of their minds this game. This is exactly the type of game that they need to win going into next week, man. And they did it beautifully, man. It's possible that the Rock did have issues with the dual quarterbacks over there, man. I mean, by the middle of the season, you kind of got to figure it out. You got a primary quarterback. You got a backup quarterback for when that guy's injured or he's out of town or whatever. He can't make the game, man. Not much of a chance. Both of these teams, they were towards the bottom of the league at the end of the season. But for the Warriors to win like this, congrats, fellas. They absolutely deserve it. Hopefully you can ride this going into next week, man. But it's going to be a challenge. Go ahead, Ollie, Flanny.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge, man. So right now, what it says that the playoff bracket is actually posted on the website. The design on there. So it's the number 1 seed Goonies will be playing against the number 4 Warriors, and the Slugs number 2 seed against the number 3 GoodFellas. So it's the top 4 teams, basically. The teams pretty much people thought were going to be in the semifinals are in the semifinals here, as far as record-wise, as far as seeding-wise. So we're getting the good matchup here in the semifinals. I don't think the semifinals here are going to be much of a big lopsided win as we saw in round number 1, Giant.
Yeah, no question about it. This next set of matchups is going to be much more competitive and should be very exciting, man.
I actually like both underdogs, man. If you call them underdogs, I mean the lower seed, if that be, the lower seed teams, I like them both, man.
Yeah, I don't know about it, man. The Slugs are just too good, in my opinion, man. So
well, you know what? I've been after this Sunday, I've been on the GoodFellas, man. I mean, I loved what I saw this Sunday, man. But prior to coming on this show, man, I think I'm switching my picks too, man. It's tough, man. You could go one way or the other. I mean, you mentioned last week about the points for, points against, and it's just a big margin, man, as opposed to these teams. So that Slugs team, definitely a threat here this season. Odds-on favorites, definitely, man. But
yeah. So what is it? It's the same. It's the same bat time, same bat channel on Sunday over at the Hackensack High School Stadium. Is that right? This coming Sunday?
Yes, it's going to be this Sunday, February 25th at Hackensack High School, the semifinals. 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern is the Goonies against the Warriors. And then at 10:30, we got the Slugs against the GoodFellas. So, yeah, pretty much same time, same location for the semifinals. And I should be out there for both of them, getting those semifinals on film. What do you want? You want to get into the predictions or what, man?
Yeah, let's get into it, man.
Which one, man? Pick a match, huh?
All right, we'll do the GoodFellas and the Slugs first, man.
Yeah, so, I mean, here we go, man. I mean, the Slugs, like I said, hottest offense and defense here, number 1 ranked in both categories. As far as head-to-head matchup, I mean, everything's pointing to me for the Slugs, man. But I just got this gut feeling, man, where I think GoodFellas, man, easily capable of pulling the upset here, if you call it an upset. And on the matchups, Slugs beat the GoodFellas both times, man. This is actually going to be their third meeting here this season. Usually you only play a team once, sometimes in the playoffs, you may play twice. They're actually playing for the third time, and the Slugs have won both of those contests,
Yeah.
But if you look at the other side, man, I mean, it's real tough to be a team 3 times in one season. So the Slugs got to do that to win this. And one of the things people don't realize, man, this GoodFellas team was in the championship last year. Come this time in the winter of last year, this GoodFellas team was a team that went to the championship. They lost in the finals on there, but they don't realize that, So this is a team that's been there before, and they're 1 win away again to making it to that championship. So redemption is on their mind, trying to get the championship this season. All year long they've been thinking about this. And last year the Slugs were eliminated in the playoffs, man. So it could happen here. But it just, I mean, I'm looking at the numbers, man, and one thing that scares me about this, it's great that the fellas got their quarterback back, and having that quarterback on there, it's very tough to beat this guy twice in one season, They beat the GoodFellas one time. The other time he didn't play in the second game, but he's going to be there in the semifinals, so he was there round 1. And because he comes with a new strategy. I mean, this guy is very talented as far as the time management goes on there, and just overall, how do you call him, man? Playmaker, strategist on the field, man. I mean, this guy knows the place. He reads the defense real well, and he comes out with different looks. So he's studied a lot of the film on their prior matchup. He's going to come out with something for him this week, which may be a lot different. I don't know if the Slugs are going to be able to adjust to that. So. I mean, I was leaning towards the GoodFellas because I liked what I saw this Sunday. But one thing that scared me, Giant, again, they showed up with 6 guys, man. They showed up with 6 guys. So if you're coming in with 6 guys here against the Slugs this week, it's not going to get the job done. I don't see them because if you're putting your quarterback to play both sides on there, it's going to be very difficult against this very talented Slugs. And that's why, Giant, I got to take the Slugs in this, so I'm changing my pick. I'm going with the Slugs to go to the finals.
Changing your mind like you change your underwear. Look, you said it before. These Slugs, man, number 1 rated offense, number 1 rated defense. You mentioned how you don't think it's GoodFellas have a chance, man. There is no chance. It's going to be a 3-peat for the Slugs, man. They're going to beat them 3 times in a row this season, man. Good game. But goodbye, GoodFellas, man. Slugs will absolutely beat them. No problem whatsoever. They're the favorite to win the championship for a reason, Flanny. And there's no question. I mean, you even mentioned the GoodFellas just bringing 6 guys, man. It's not going to work, bro. They're just outmatched from every different perspective. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if weather had to do with anything. I mean, last 2 weeks it's been a rainfall and it's been that big snowfall. So
yeah, I didn't take a look at what the forecast is, but it's not even good until like 2 days before.
I know.
I woke up Friday morning. I'm like, there's supposed to be snow on Sunday. I'm like, what the hell is this?
I know, man. I know. I just want to get out of February, man.
Today it's 70 degrees today. I mean, who knows, man? This week, the day after. Days after the snow, it's like 70 degrees. It's crazy, man, the weather.
I mean, everything's already melted, so it's nuts. I guess,
Yeah, now it's nothing, but who knows what's going to happen this weekend, man?
Yeah.
Hey, maybe Leonardo DiCaprio could stop flying his private jet around to create all the smog and the CO2 and the carbon monoxide out there and stuff, man.
Oh, man. But listen, man, I think GoodFellas got the guys to beat this team, man. They got the talent there to beat them, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think so, man.
A good team like the GoodFellas, it's hard to beat them 3 times, man. So that's where I get a bit worried here. I think GoodFellas can pull up the win here and come back and go into that championship because they want that championship back, man. They lost to the Dozers last season, and I think a lot of guys forgot about that,
Yeah.
So, and and Pete definitely wants to get that win, wants to get back into that championship picture again, and he's got to beat the Slugs to do so. So Will the Slugs get beat early, taken out of the playoffs before that championship game? We'll find out this Sunday, man. All right, so I think we've touched all bases on that one, man. It's gonna be a great matchup. It's gonna be. It's not gonna be that blowout win that you saw 2 weeks ago, man. Like I said, they didn't have their quarterback that day. The rain on there. It's gonna be a whole different matchup. It's gonna be a lot closer. It's gonna be like their first matchup, where it was a touchdown away. Could have went either way on that game. I think we're going to see the same type of game as we saw. I think that was back in week 3 or week 4. Same type of game here. And it will come down to possibly the last drive of the game. So, all right. So we both got Slugs. What about the other semifinals, man?
All right, so this one will be competitive, man. I mean, I think the Warriors got a chance against the Goonies over here, man. This one, I think, is going to be more competitive, man. Warriors rolling deep, man. You see what they did against a more competitive team like The Rock, and they blew them out good. So I think they'll give the Goonies a run for their money, man.
Absolutely.
But it's I know any given Sunday, man, I still got to pick the Goonies, man. I mean, they squeaked it out to the number 1 seed, man. But dude, man, I just don't see the Warriors winning this. What do you think, Flanny?
I don't know, man. I disagree here, man. I'm going with the Warriors. Now, here's the thing, man. I mean, Warriors look great, man. Warriors look great. They show up like this again this Sunday. They're getting the win. Now, these two teams also met up twice in the regular season. This will also be their 3rd meeting of the season. It's 1-1. Like Warriors, the only team to give the Goonies that loss to prevent that perfect season for the Goonies. And so they won early on. I think it was like week 2 or week 3. It was like a touchdown away, 14-6 or something like that was the final. And then they played the last week in the regular season, and that's where the Goonies won by a point. It was 14-13. Came down to extra point conversions on there, and Goonies got the win there. So it's 1-1 on the matchup. This is the rubber game, man, the 3rd game. But this one where it counts, man, it means it's in the playoffs. It's the semifinals. So a win here not only wins the matchups between the two, but also gets your team to the finals. This Warriors team, man, the thing about the Goonies, man, they got great defense. They both have great defense here, but can the Goonies score, man? They're number 1, but on the ranking wise, like we went over last week, they're not the highest scoring team. Their defense, yes, defense is good. Defense actually even scores for the Goonies or puts them in a spot to get the scores. But that's a concern in my eyes here. I don't know if the Goonies can score to win. I think it's going to be another close matchup here, and I think the Warriors get it done. I think the Warriors come up. If you call it an upset here, I mean, it's the number 4 seed team, so they got to be the underdogs in this matchup. But they've done it once, man, and I think redemption is on their minds. Revenge game here from week number 9 to come out and get the win, Giant.
Yeah, no question. Anything's possible. You said that they gave the Warriors, gave the Goonies their only loss. So if anyone is going to beat the Goonies, the Warriors might be the only team who can, man. So lots of exciting. It's going to be, it sounds like it's going to be really exciting. If you guys can't make it, make sure you stay tuned for Mr. Media himself, my co-host Jim Flannigan. Make sure you guys check out his videos. Click on the ACFL football. Click on the likes on the videos as well. Subscribe to them as well, man. And give us your feedback as well. We really appreciate that, man. Just to recap, spring is right around the corner. So those of you guys that are down and out, NPI, The Rock, it's right around the corner, man. The spring signups are what? March 8th or March 3rd or something, man?
Well, registrations are open, man. Signups are open.
Registrations already open. All right.
Yeah, because the season starts on the 18th. So registrations are already there. Click the registration info on there, so you can register. Or if you have any questions, or if teams want to register, just contact JT. That number is 914-629-4865. And also, as mentioned previous, the spring tune-up tournament will also be on Sunday, March the 11th. Info on that will be posted soon. Check the tournaments tab for that. On that, it's a one-day tournament on the 11th. And also, as mentioned before, that indoor weeknight league, ACFL working things together there with the West Rock indoor facility in New York, where they have partnered to bring a weeknight indoor league that takes place on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So if you're interested in something like that, the league starts on that. They're trying to start that on the 3rd of April. So there's still a lot of time for that, but just giving you guys the heads up on that. And I will have the videos posted on here. Maybe even as soon as this video goes up, I may have the full game footage there of the round 1 matchups on there, possibly some additional highlights. I did post a end of the season highlight reel of the winter 2017-18 season. If you guys have not checked that out, you could check that out at the YouTube channel, or just search on YouTube ACFL Films. It'll come up on there, or even Flag Football. I mean, we're on the YouTube search engine on there, so easy to locate. And I really wish this was a live one. We would have the more, because we're looking for more interaction with the league as well, as far as the chat room goes, as far as the Twitter goes, if you guys have any messages, and as far as possibly even having guests on this show. So that is something that we're able to do, and we're looking to possibly do, if not this season, if we come back in the spring, if we do get good feedback here, if you guys like the show, like I said, your opinions do matter on here, whether or not we continue with this show and we bring this to you guys every week.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it any better. Flanny, you got anything else on your plate?
Not much, man. Not much besides that. Like I said, we recap I'll give you guys the recaps there. Next week we'll have the results of those, and then
we should be live next week too, fellas, man. So have no fear, man. We like the interactions, man.
That's what we're aiming for the live.
Yeah, I had an emergency this week, man. So it's not normally like that. I had a couple of technical hiccups tonight as well. I apologize. My phone got AIDS like minutes before we started airing this, so you're gonna see only a little bit, man, instead of the widescape or the landscape view. So I apologize about that too, ACFL family. We will fix everything next time we are online. Go ahead, Flanny.
Makes you look slimmer, man. What do you think?
Yeah. Yawn. Boring.
Oh man. Well, that's it. That's all I got, man. That's all I got. Thanks.
All right. Make sure you guys continue to check us out. Go ahead. www.acfl.net. Follow us on Twitter at ACFL Football. Jim Flannigan, Giant918. Signing out. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Have a good night, everybody.